Alright, now the way that we're going to be starting Sven from the movie Frozen, we are going to begin with a series of very simple basic shapes. We're going to start off with a circle, an oval, and something similar to a fish hook. Alright, so go ahead and follow along. I am about 1/3 away from the bottom of my paper here. I'm directly below the middle half of my paper. Starting with my oval, doesn't need to be perfect. Directly below that, go ahead and add your circle and follow it up with your fish hook. Alright, after that step, you're going to want to go ahead and darken it just a little bit more. We're going to bring out the shape of our actual snout here. Add a little bit of definition for our chin for good old Sven. Alright, now after that we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring this to more of an actual point. Bring this down the rest of the way. And we're going to begin sculpting the actual shape of Sven's eyes. I'm going to start with the number 7. Once again, it doesn't have to be perfect. These are our preliminary beginning lines. Everything should be very basic. It's the other side of the actual eye here. The eyebrow ridge. Alright, now because I know that these are the eyebrows up here, we can go ahead and sculpt the remaining portion of the shape. Remember, they start out wider and they thin out as they come to the edge. You can go ahead and darken those in if you'd like. Alright, take your time. Give you a few more seconds to catch up with the rest of the group. Now the next step looks a little bit trickier than it actually is. We're going to go ahead and draw 2 dime-sized circles. I say dime-sized, it's relatively about as thick as one of your Crayola markers. Alright, they don't have to be perfect, but the more you swivel and rotate, with your fingers, the more perfect they will become. Go ahead and draw an inner circle for each one of those. Should be about as wide as one of your pencils. After that, you can go ahead and color those in. And you have just completed the hardest part of Sven the reindeer. Now the next step is to take this monstrosity of a chin that we have down here and begin sculpting it to make it look more like the actual mouth. So I'm going to go ahead and add our top layer of teeth here. And with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and bring out the shape of the bottom mouth. There you have it. Just by adding that slight Nike swoosh, we have created the bottom half of Sven's jaw. As soon as you have that into play, you can go ahead and add in the bottom row of teeth. And from what I remember about the movie Frozen, Sven seemed to pant a lot and always had his tongue out. So let's go ahead and add the shape of a tongue right in here. Alright, I'll give you just a few minutes to catch up. After we've drawn that, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of time here and erase some of these extra lines. In all seriousness, it's not that big of a deal to have some lines remaining. Adds a little bit of character. At that point, ladies and gentlemen, we can go ahead and draw in his teeth. As this is the inside of his mouth, we can go ahead and darken this area as well. This is not entirely necessary for the time being. However, you are more than welcome to shade it if you'd like. Right now we're going to go ahead and start working on the shape of Sven's nostrils. Okay. Just have the bottom half of the letter S for the left hand side. Go ahead and add a little bit of shadow to that if you'd like. On the other hand, however, we've got a very common jelly bean or even a lima bean shape for the nostril. You're going to want to go ahead and shade that in entirely as well. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. We've finished the bottom half of the face so far. So we're going to bring our attention back up to the top half of our paper here. And we're going to bring it about 2 finger lengths away from the top eyebrow. What that means is 2 fingers away. We want to go ahead, we want to add a slight line completely parallel with that portion of the eyebrow. A slight parallel line. And then after that, we want to go ahead and add the letter S. Why the letter S? We're using the letter S because of the fact that it is easiest to use in terms of making these complex curved lines. All right, we're going to come up just a bit from our letter S, and we're going to bring up a muted letter S, a letter S with a slight less of a curvature. And we've just created one of Sven's ears. Alright class, the next step, go ahead and bring this upward just a little bit. And then let's add a slight dip, almost making a small hook. Alright, for those of you all caught up, we're going to make a slight recreation of that ear on the inside, thus creating the inside of Sven's ear. Alright, we're going to bring this up and connect it. Alright, which means we can take our eraser and erase that initial line that we had made. Hopefully you've been drawing all of your initial lines as lightly as possible so that they erase with ease. Alright class, now here's the easiest way to do this next step. Take your piece of paper and rotate it to its side so that you're looking at Sven on his side. Alright, now right about here, the edge of the crest of his skull, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in another muted letter S. Just bear with me. I know it sounds crazy. Alright, directly next to that we're going to add one more muted letter S coming right off the tip of his eyebrow. And then one more letter S to seal the deal and create